Coming up on episode 149 of the Milo Beasley Show, guest Larry Dallas. I beat him up once. Do this. We'll just start from here. All right, and that's why we're not signed. And welcome to the Milo Beasley Show. Episode number 149.
It's 149.2.
149. Take two. Yes, take two.
Take two.
My guest this week, Sirius XM's own Larry Dallas.
Yeah, Sirius XM would be the way to describe me is what we just went through.
Yeah.
Now it's take two, so.
Yeah, I had the microphone and.
Question number one.
Was it plugged in? Yeah, so we were talking before I plugged in the mic about how you got that gig, man.
Yeah, so way back when, I think it was probably like the sixth show I ever did, so it would be my first year in the business. It was Evolve 6. This guy, Dave LaGreca, who works at Sirius XM, came to an Evolve show. And he met me, we started talking, we became buddies after that. And I would start going in, like anything in wrestling, he'd ask me to come in for a day as a guest, just to, give me the rub, put me on air. We did that a couple of times. Should I be looking at you or the camera?
Oh,
camera? Okay.
Yeah, camera.
So we did that a couple of times. And then what would happen is the main two hosts, Doug Mortman and Dave LaGreca, they would take a day off. And together, it'd be like a Memorial Day or Labor Day or something like that. And the producer at the time, Mike Riker, and myself would go in there and do a show. I wasn't getting paid for it. It was just like anything else in wrestling.
Right. Story.
Did that a couple of times. Then I started becoming a regular fill-in guy there. Mm-hmm. And I was the fill-in guy there, and I wasn't getting paid for a year. So all these people that sit there and try to tell you in wrestling that you devalue yourself or all this other stuff, you don't take money, if you don't take... At the end of the day, what's the difference between $50, $100, $75, right? You're spending money to get someplace. You should be working enough to pay your bills, whatever you have to do. So I did that for about a year as the fill-in guy, and it just worked out. They gave me a contract, and that contract wasn't what I would have wanted it to be. And then now I'm on my second contract there, and my value is as high as it's ever been. So sometimes you take a risk, you meet somebody, and it takes years to pay off. Like I think the advice in general to people would just be like, you meet somebody, everyone immediately wants to go for like that python grip, like,
right.
Oh my God, you can give me an opportunity, let me hold on to you for everything I can. And it's just not the way the world works sometimes, and sometimes it's a slow burn towards things, and it happens for a reason, because maybe you wouldn't be right for that position 5 years ago, but experiences take you somewhere, and then you're able to kill it when you get the opportunity.
I don't know if there's a more truth that has ever been spoken.
I really mean that.
Then maybe you just aren't in the right place at the right time, or maybe like yourself, you're not in that right place, for yourself at that time. But maybe, like you said, a couple years down the road, 5 years down the road, maybe you are.
Yeah, if you believe in yourself or your talent, or you believe you have some sort of value added towards something, it's very simple. I think you gotta bet on yourself. People just like at the end of the day, I think for me, it's like people talk about what money you want to get paid. I mean, at the end of the day, the money that you're asking for, isn't that insulting enough on yourself? Like, right, it's more like I'm taking it to bet on myself that I can turn this into another opportunity. Otherwise, like, that's all I'm worth that's all I'm worth is that, to do this or do X or do Y. Like, that to me is more demeaning than anything. Like, at least when you're doing something for cheap at first, you're like, it's a learning experience. Right. It's like paying for a student loan. You're like, there's some value added here. I'm going to spend $40,000 because I'm going to be a captain of industry and be a CEO.
You're going to work harder because like you want to make the money, so you're going to work harder.
Right. So like, I'm not saying everyone should do this, but it's about betting on yourself, and you should have an end goal and have an end game and be able to see the value in something and put a date on it. And I think a lot of times, like with Sirius, it was just, for me, it was promotion added being on a show to, for me. So I got something out of it. And then you got good at it, or you got better at it than you were. And you have the value sometimes with wrestling or with radio and stuff like that. You can listen to yourself back, and you can watch yourself years later, weeks later, days later. So you have this ability to get better. Whereas an accountant, unless you're spot checking your books, like you're not getting that same value added. So I think for me, it was just one of those things where it's just right place, right time, met a guy, and I took an opportunity that a lot of people would have not taken, and I bet on myself, and now I'm in really comfortable position. I can literally say now I pay my bills talking pro wrestling, and 2 years ago when I started that, you would have, they would have been ripping me apart. Go like what was I taking from an intern?
Right. So I mean, that's the goal, right? Is to be involved in professional wrestling somehow and make a living at it, right? Like I think that's the goal. Whether or not you're in a ring, you're talking on camera, or you're talking behind a microphone to hundreds of thousands of people listening to you on the XM.
Yeah.
Speaking of accountants, did you see the movie Accountant with
I have not yet.
It is really good.
I do Cody. So like I have the Cody. I shouldn't be admitting this online, should I? I don't think Cody's legal because otherwise it'd be taken down already, right? You know what Cody is?
No, I don't.
Oh, dude. So you get a fire stick.
Okay, I know the fire stick. Yeah.
And then you jailbreak your fire stick, which is like totally against everything indie wrestling is because they tell you not to pirate stuff. But you jailbreak your fire stick, and you can just like movies and TV shows. They're just there for you.
Huh.
And like you can watch it like on like you go home, you put in a movie, like you go to the year or whatever, you put it on, you can watch it. So I'm usually a couple months behind on movies.
I recommend it. I saw it. Yeah,
he's like a killer, right? Like a sniper or something.
No spoilers, but he's an accountant. He has the autism. Well, there's some craziness going on, but he has the autism, and as an accountant, might be a killer as well. He might be, it's actually really, really good.
The autism. I'm not saying that autism isn't real. I'm just saying the way he said the autism.
I was like, oh my God.
Real disease. Real disease.
I was like, oh boy, here.
Nothing to do with vaccines.
We were going viral for all the wrong reasons. Let's talk about the evolution of Larry Dallas, man. When you first started, you did the right thing. You created a name for yourself.
Yeah.
By pissing people off by being Larry Dallas like 24/7, right?
Yeah, I definitely did not understand what the off switch was, and I lost a lot of like relationships early on because of it, because they were just like, who has two names? Or just who's this Larry Dallas guy? You're Lawrence Musso. Like, what's this Larry Dallas? And I think sometimes it's like method acting. I didn't know this 7 years ago. Like I didn't think like this 7 years. This is just years and years of failure, like molded into like how could I do better from this failure. And I think method acting is one of those things where people just throw themselves into a character, into a role, because you almost got to fake it till you make it. All those inspirational quotes and stuff like that. But it's just for years people will mock you for what you do. Unless you want to be that guy that's like, look at me, I'm on some local poster, and come see me, and God bless you, that's what you want. If you want to just go out there and just make yourself, I wanted to make myself known by everybody.
Yep.
I didn't just want my cousin to come to a show and be like, oh my God, bro, you're living the dream. Oh, it's so cool, we did this as kids. I think that shit sucks. I do. I always did. I think that there's value added to things. Come here, Larry Legend. We're wearing white, similar white. I think there's value added to things.
All white everything.
The great Larry Legend right here.
Larry and Larry back together again. I know I'm looking like the guy from Get Out right now.
I'm looking like the guy from Saturday Night Fever.
Oh, you look like a good humor man right now. I'm here right humor man. Brother, let me get dressed for this, all right?
Absolutely.
Good seeing you as always.
Good to see you.
I feel underdressed in the flannel. It's not all white everything.
Anyway, so like you threw yourself into a character, and it wasn't. You just lived it all the time. You piss a lot of people off, but it value added. So I made myself valuable in other ways when I wasn't probably valuable enough for the spot I had.
And it made for great storytelling. One of my favorite matches, and I'm not just blowing smoke up your ass because you're here. One of my favorite matches was our fight it wasn't a wrestling match, it was a fight at the Jeff Peterson Cup.
Yeah.
And like
2013.
They just hated you, they just hated Larry Dallas. You brought a cardboard cutout of Ric Flair into the ring. And then, there I was the bum who you had screwed the previous night.
Yeah.
And
you screwed me the next night.
So like it was just fantastic storytelling, and wish we could have done more. But
I do too. That was my first match ever.
Yeah.
I never had it. It was my first match.
And your first concussion ever?
Like as an adult, yeah, I'll do it. I got so concussed. I took so much punishment in that match. Like he talked me out of things. Like you taught me how to do it. Like I was so gung ho. I was like, dude, first match ever. Because like I'm very thin-skinned in a lot of ways. I let people's criticism of me not belonging in a spot like really get to me. Like I would never. I'm admitting it now because I'm successful. But before when I wasn't, I just let it. It bothered me, and it just was. So like when I had this opportunity, there was nothing that I was going to say no to. It was like, I'm all in. First match, street fight, we're doing this whole thing. And I mean, thank God he taught me how to some of the stuff I wanted to do. Because, but we had tables and Van Terminators and chair shots, and it was a bad night for my brain. And then I drove 18 hours back home for that. 22, Florida, 22 hours. That was 22 hours, and that was the final night of a double shot. So you had to leave Saturday night to go home because people had to go to work by like Monday.
Well, the drive probably, because they say don't go to sleep on a concussion, so the drive probably kept you awake.
But yeah, no, that was my, I always will have a fond respect for you and have a place in my heart because you were my first match ever.
And
who has a street fight for their first match ever?
Yeah,
a moron.
But it was really, really good, and I don't know if it's on tape.
No, it's lost.
It's lost.
It's like not on the Flow Slam. It wasn't on WWE Online because it was on there. But then like the Trevin Adams. At Trevin Adams. You want to see this match? I want to see the match.
I want to see the match.
At Trevin Adams on Twitter, they have like the footage, but it got like, whatever happens with your little computer files thing. Something got corrupted and they need to fix it. They need to just put it back out there again. They haven't done it.
Actually, I think I know somebody who has a bootleg copy. That because you're not supposed to film there at the WWE Live.
It's on Cody.
But maybe.
Just put on Jeff Peterson Cup 2013. It's on Cody.
Yeah. So a thing we like to do here on the Milo Beasley Show is called the top 5. We're asking a random question.
Okay.
All right. If your name wasn't Larry Dallas, 5 ridiculous names you would rather go by, like for a radio personality or
wrestling.
Yeah, man. Like 5 other names you would choose that are totally ridiculous.
Oh, that's really hard because I've been this person for so long. So. The porn star thing, right? It's like your middle name and like your the street you grew up on.
The street you grew up on, right?
So I would go Philip Sunrise because that was my
Holy crap, that's such a great name! Oh my god!
So like I'd probably go Philip Sunrise.
All right.
I don't God. You guys are such a hard because you gotta understand something. I already have a fake name.
I got
I'm Lawrence Musso. I'm Larry Dallas, and I'm like, you do have 3.
I got 3. Yeah.
So like,
it's really hard.
You're asking me to come up with 5. I can't. Can you give me another? All
right.
It's really hard.
All right.
Philip Sunrise though is like up there.
Since you mentioned porn stars, 5 favorite porn stars.
Trina Michaels, number 1.
Of course.
Because I work with her in FIP, so she's up at the top. Trina Michaels. Lisa Ann, the one who did Nail and Palin because she does. She does Sirius XM Fantasy.
Wow. Okay.
Ooh,
like fantasy, like what type? Like
no,
fantasy,
like fantasy sports.
Yeah.
She's like a big time actress on fantasy. Oh. By the way, these 2 women are just people that like I work with, so that's one of my top 2. So if you're watching from HR, it's not because of anything else. Jenna Jameson's an all-time classic, right? There's this girl I dated in college that liked Belladonna.
Okay.
So I watched that with her a couple of times. And then, who's another porn star that's big? Amy Fisher, because she's crazy. She did porn.
Wait, that was the chick, the Joey Buttafuoco?
Yeah, she had to go the way?
Yeah.
Because she's like, it was a hot MILF. So there's my 5. Jenna Jameson, Belladonna, because college girlfriend watched it. Lisa Ann, because she works at Sirius XM doing fantasy sports. Trina Michaels, because I work with her in wrestling, and I taught her a lot about managing and being ringside. And then we'll go with Amy Fisher just for the story.
Yeah. Sure.
All about the story. I'll do anything for a story.
So where can folks find you on the social medias?
On the social medias, I am Larry Dallas SXM. That's like Sirius XM, SXM on Twitter. I think I'm at my friends limit on Facebook, but that's Larry Dallas too. You never know. Fake accounts drop off. There's always these bot accounts that.
All right.
Instagram, Larry C Dallas. and that's pretty much all I do. You can go to SiriusXM and Bust It Open Radio.
Hey, let's talk about that. What channel and time?
93, it's Rush XM, it's combat sports and entertainment, so they cover mixed martial arts, pro wrestling, anything that happens in a ring or a cage, our station covers, and it's from 2 to 4 p.m. Busted Open Radio, it's strictly wrestling.
I catch it when I can.
Me.
And then I tweet at you whenever I listen.
We're going to EA Sports on Monday.
Yeah.
Me, Bully Ray, Doug Mortman, Dave LaGreca. It's a rotating list of co-hosts, but it's a good show. A lot of callers. We break down everything pro wrestling. Depending upon the host pairing, different setups, different everything like that. So you should definitely give it a listen and enjoy it.
Cool. And don't forget, you can follow me on all the socials at The Wrestling Bum. I need all the followers. Pro Wrestling Tees doesn't give me a shop until you get like so many.
I think that's bullshit because there's tons of people that have shops.
They have like 15 followers.
I want to get to the bottom of that one of these days. Maybe we should do like an investigative report on this because like I know there's certain people on there that have no business.
I actually, every single episode, like right after this ends, we'll have a Pro Wrestling Tees commercial in the end because the grappler guys. So I work with Grappler, so I put Pro Wrestling Tees.
What's with
commercial
T-shirt companies? This is very important. T-shirt companies that like create like a brand of wrestling. Mm-hmm. Like you go strong style. Let's go strong style brand. And then the athlete just sponsored. Do you know what strong style is? Like you guys sponsor. Like if you're gonna create something, you're gonna create a brand. At least sponsor people that fight that brand. It only makes sense. It's a public service announcement for you. I look at it and I go, what the F, bro? Like, I don't think you even know what the term you're using is. You're just trying to sell a cool t-shirt to people who's using terminology you don't understand. Sponsor people that fit your brand. And by the way, being sponsored does not a free t-shirt make. Sponsorship is money.
or at least advertising on your end, because that's money too.
I'm willing to be sponsored by anybody, but you gotta pay me.
So anything else before we wrap up?
I got it.
Yep, so hanging out at More Than Mania, catch the replays at Flow Slam, and watch this guy, get yelled at a lot. So, all right, this has been episode number 149 of the Milo Beasley Show. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.
Yay, I'm entertaining.